Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's Sunday evening. It's a little bit in the late evening here. It's sun setting. It's a beautiful day today. Awesome around where we are. I hope everybody had a great day. Hey, listen, tonight, first off, let's get to the point. All of you can find us at www.patreon.com/MMANDCREW, MM and Crew. For those that are new, when they come in, when you arrive at Patreon, you can jump into Discord at Militiaman's chat room. Gigi is our admin. She can welcome you, and she does abundance of things. She's awesome in helping coordination and the continuity of our Discord chat room and our forum. She brings in articles that my analysis on, and so we share those back and forth. So awesome stuff. Thanks for her hard work. I appreciate that. Much of this couldn't even be started without having our Super Samson feeding us news all the time. Not quite 24/7, but seems like it. Anyway, good job for her too. And we also have an IT, Greg, and of course all the other crew members, Petra, Poppy Peter, and Brian, of course. We can't forget Brian the Lion. Check his place out. We post almost daily for him too, so it's a good thing. So come join us. Hey, listen, tonight there's been, over the last few days, I think it was on the 15th, which was a few days ago, there was an article that was put out. It says, after sending the 2024 budget schedules to the Council of Ministers, the Parliamentary finances are suspended. So that stirred up some people. We talked about it the day that it happened, but we're going to reiterate it again because it's today. And what they have to say in the article is interesting because the Parliamentary Finance Committee commented on the Finance Minister's Taif Sammy's announcement sending data related to the 2024 budget scheduled to the Council of Ministers. The Ministry of Finance sending data on the 2024 budget tables to the Council of Ministers means that its mission has ended, and we are waiting for the Council of Ministers to vote on these tables and send them within the next few days. So that was on Wednesday, and they said within the next few days. That can mean a lot of different things, but let's see what they have to do. But it's kind of powerful because we're coming into a new week, and they have a suspension of the parliamentary finances. So let's see how this works out. It says the Council of Ministers will speed up sending these tables to the House of Representatives, and we, in turn, will have access to them. So it sounds like they don't have access to them at this moment, and some amendments may be made to them if there are any observations. And we cannot view these data except after they officially arrive from the Council of Ministers. So they haven't got them, but they expect them, and they will review it, and we'll go from there. And hopefully those few days since Wednesday, so we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's 4 days, so it's a little over a few days. It says the data related to the 2024 budget schedules has been completed. The texts have been included, and they have been sent to the Council of Ministers. So they're very, very definitive about the fact that they have done something. Here it says that Taif Sammy has confirmed that she says, quote, "I will not release the funding for the salaries of the Kurdistan region employees for the month of March until after resettlement. And I do not disagree with the decision of the federal court." Okay, so she's on board with the federal court, but they have some concerns that they have to deal with as far as the resettlement is concerned. But if you remember what we talked about in a video or two ago, is that the resettlement issues with Iraq in respect to the citizens and to land has been underway for over 4 years. So at this stage of the game, they're down to the wire, and it looks like they will have to expose that information. And that after resettlement, they'll have to, that's one of the things that they're going to do. So hopefully that's going to be here knocking on our door in the next, anytime now, anytime. So it looks good. Parliamentary finance delay in the budget had a negative impact on the performance of ministries. What are they getting to? Effectively, what I'm going to believe is going to happen is you're going to find that they're at a standstill. But is that a bad thing? No, it's because what we just said, suspended the finances for a couple of days, a few days. Here we are. So we're at that stage. So it says the Parliamentary Finance Committee called on the government to expedite sending the budget to the House of Representatives, especially since its schedules have not undergone any changes and its doors are fixed. So they haven't changed anything, and everything should be just the way it is. It should be fixed. Let's hope that's a positive sign. I believe it is. It goes on to say that the budget schedules for 2024 were long overdue. Of course they were, because they were supposed to be done probably before the first of the year. But anyway, it says it would have been better to have them reach the House of Representatives at the beginning of this year, especially since the items are fixed and remaining and no discussion or discussions have taken place on them. So obviously no changes. It says change on the tables included financial allocations for items that were confirmed in 2023 budget. Another thing we haven't seen is we haven't seen all of that to be exposed yet. And obviously 2023 is a few months behind us. It says the delay is blamed on the government, and all ministries that depend on operating the budget are basically at a standstill. So if they're at a standstill, why is that? I believe that they're looking for is that they're going to have their real effective exchange rate to move forward in an investment budget, the tripartite budget. That's hopefully what we're looking at. Al-Nali calls on the government to send all the budget schedules complete and calculated accurately so that they are not returned to the Council of Ministers and take time to change, delete, and add. In other words, don't play with it. We want the right numbers. We want it accurate. Don't play games. Let's get it right. And so, therefore, that's what they're talking about. Indicating that the House of Representatives is ready to discuss the budget as soon as it arrives and complete the approval of the schedules. So it's awesome to see that, because in that last paragraph, they don't want anybody to touch, change, and delete and add anything to it, where they probably have had that happen in the past. So they'll probably try to avoid that. And surely at this stage of the game, coming into this next week, is going to be fairly important. So parliamentary finance, the federal budget is in the corridors of the Council of Ministers, and there's no specific date for sending it. So basically the Council of Ministers is that body that's holding it at this particular time, but they did say that Tav Sammy, her words, and so her words are an assurance that as the budget law schedules are still with the Council of Ministers and expected to be sent soon to the House of Representatives. One of the council members, Al-Karawi, continues today that the budget law schedules are currently in the corridors of the Council of Ministers, and we do not know about their content. We do not know about their content or the date of sending them to Parliament. Well, of course they don't, because the fact remains is that those folks at Parliament don't need to know that information just yet. So since they are in the council corridors, they're keeping it close to their chest. But one of the things that they do say here, which is interesting, it's pretty much out of context, but they go on to talk about, on June 12th, 2023, the Iraqi Parliament approved the tripartite budget for the budget law for the years 2023, 2024, and 2025. Last year's budget totaled amount to 197 billion dinars, which is the largest in the country's history. A, that's a typo, or B, that's an indicator, okay? Because 197 billion dinars is just a little over 150 million US dollars to run a country. I'm not so sure that's, especially $150 million is not a lot of money. 197 billion at 1310 equates to about 150 million. So hopefully what they're trying to do is maybe, if you remember, Al Sudani talked about having $1 equaling 1.32 dinars. Okay, so that's what they've said. That's what Al Sudani's government said. So is this a typo? I don't know, but it looks like it could be something that is to be expected. They're going to make a change. I believe, in my view, is that when they drop the 3 zeros from the exchange rate, what you'll have effectively is about 0.76 USD. Okay, then they apply a real effective exchange rate to that. And that's going to be based off their assets, their valuations. They're going to have to base that off of many different things. The non-oil revenue streams, they're going to maximize those. We've talked about all that. You got to realize that they're not going to tell us everything point blank. You're going to have to, understand and pay attention to what they have to say. When they say they go back to a previous era and they give you the amount that it was in a previous era, there's a suggestion. It didn't say it's going to be exactly like that, but that's what they're going to do. And if Al-Sudani again says that the dinar, hold on to it, it's going to be stronger than the dollar, effectively, is what he said. He said 0.76 is not stronger than the dollar. Okay? Add the real effective exchange rate, and you can easily get over a dollar. Okay, so a one-to-one basis. But here they say they use 197 billion dinars. And so we'll see if it holds true. It's going to be good. We're going to find out. Al-Sudani's advisor, Iraq will leave the government monetary dealing in mid-2024. And what's he talking about? Iraq's going electronic. It's not going to change, no matter what. Everything that they're doing is going to go 100% electronic. So in other words, when you do payments in Iraq to the government, whether it be for electricity, taxes, everything, eventually you're going to have to do a specific electronic transaction. It's not going to be based off cash. So keep in mind, that's part of it. Yeah, so by the middle of this year, the government's collection rate will be like 100% electronic. So after they have all their important institutions up and running, the Ministry of Electricity, the gas stations, all of that have been initiated, they're going to just keep adapting until it's all done. Has that anything to do with what we're waiting for? I don't think so. I think it's just a process that they're going to have to do. No, they're finishing the process, so it's underway. It's good. It's brilliant. He stresses that things are going well, and they've been accelerating this process. And through the year to 2024, they're basically saying that his payment systems are going to be electronic, and that is fascinating because they're going from a antiquated cash-based society to a more less cash society. And so what is it here? It says after about 5 days, the government has not paid the salaries to the federal government. Well, why? Well, it sounds like they haven't settled the money yet. Why haven't they settled the money yet? Well, we told you they suspended the finances from the Parliament. That's what they told you. They're at a standstill, so to speak. Well, why? Well, there's something they're probably holding to the chest that's really sensitive, which could very well be that real effective exchange rate. And we're gonna have to wait and see if that's what it turns out to be. The regional government refuses to pay the employees' salaries despite sending amounts from the Baghdad since last week. Well, when did they start doing that? Taif Sami said what? She completed it Wednesday, this last Wednesday, and possibly as early as Monday they had information. And so anyway, they're going to say that, for instance. They're basically upset the fact that it's been about 45 days since the last salary received from the Kurdistan employees, and we are in the month of Ramadan, and it's difficult circumstances for people. So there's pressure. There's pressure to get this done. Is the reason that there's a delay to the numbers, the schedules, and the text with the Council of Ministers relating to the 2024 budget that have yet to be put to the HOR to vote? To allow for settlement. Is that what's going on? I think we're about to find out. I think we're going to find out quick. I really do. It's going to be good. Let's hope so. Representative holds Kurdistan responsible for the faltering legislation of the oil and gas law. What else did the oil and gas law need? They're going to need evaluation. They're waiting for the same thing as the salaries. You can see this collective body working, how it works. They're working in conjunction. One of the articles I was going to try to print out, but unfortunately I just got a snippet of it. But yesterday they were talking about the Kurds and Turkey and Baghdad effectively have come to at a point where Turkey's completely ready for to release oil, start pumping again, allowing it to go through the Cyan. What are they waiting for? I think they're waiting for a real effective exchange rate. What are the salaries waiting for? Well, why the delay? 5 days, real effective exchange rate? Is that what they're talking about? It sure does. It sure sounds like it. So all of these things, they're electronic payment systems. They're gonna be effectively electronic. So what are they gonna need? They're gonna have access to. They're gonna be able to track and pay attention to all of their accounting. They'll be able to have audit. They're going to be able to catch the corruption. That's all going to go to the bottom dollar, dinar, I should say. It's going to go to that because the revenue streams are going to be massive. And what are they going to need? They're going to need those revenue streams to support the value of their currency. Everything in the past, in the era, was based off oil that was somewhere around 35 to 40 bucks a barrel during Saddam Hussein's era. Oil's anywhere from $80 to $85 right now. Add in the tax revenues and customs duties and fees at the borders, the tourism. You got to see the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar is not going to be at 0.76. They're going to have to add that real effective exchange rate to it. And that's probably what we're seeing is exactly why they just haven't exposed it just yet. Is it a sensitive issue? Yeah, they need to keep it close to the chest. That's just the way they need to do it. They can't just go out and tell everyone on the street that, hey, next week your exchange rate's going to be X. It doesn't work that way. But eventually they will expose it. And here's another thing is this article, it says that the deputy warns the Sudanese ministers the dismissal awaits whomever parliament summons is political. So that, their translation of the topic is incredible. But they go on to say the House of Representatives must have a major supervisory role over the ministers so that inactivity does not afflict members of parliament, stressing that parliamentarians' work duration must exceed 20 hours, stressing that the Sunni ministers in Mohammed's government are Shiites and Sudanese include the bad and the good. I really have a hard time with that paragraph, but the bottom line is that what is it? They talked about the other day, they talked about cameras that are being trained on the roadways. And so if you violate a law, you're going to have to pay fines. Remember that just the other day? They're going to make a lot of money off of that. That's going to go towards those revenue streams that I was just talking about. But he's also suggesting that cameras are placed on the street to monitor the car driver while they violate laws. They're going to probably do so and hold the accountability for those that are in parliament and in government as well. So those are a few of the items that were here this weekend on Sunday. I want to thank everybody for being with me tonight. It's been fast and furious. Please, if you're new and you want to subscribe, hit that like button, subscribe, and or if you'd like to keep that content moving from now into the future, we have PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle to be able to do so. So appreciate it, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.